Hey y'all, this is the legendary Sonny G, Sonny with an O, not a U.
And this is your boy Sterling Moody.
And we are Effa Podcast.
Effa Podcast.
And thank you for listening to us. So make sure you tune in to Effa Podcast, a real N-word podcast where we talk about
real N-word stuff.
That's it. So make sure y'all tune in.
Effa Podcast.
Effa Podcast. Welcome to Effa Podcast. And today, for episode 15, lucky 15, I have my what is the appropriate title for what our working relationship is? Because I've been trying to put labels on everything. You're not the director?
No.
Are you the PA?
So yeah, we'll say I'm just the manager.
The manager.
Yeah, I'm the one that, whenever there's a shift going on,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the manager that you call when things are wrong. I can't fix it, but I can make you feel good. Like, oh well.
That sounds like a pimp.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
So you're the project pimp. You're the project pimp.
Me, the project. All right.
That's crazy. I think we just invented another position in production, and it's an appropriate position. Like, I feel like project manager, you can disrespect a project manager. You can be like, get out of my face, I don't even know anything about this. But if you're a project pimp, you're not going to disrespect a project pimp. You're gonna abide by whatever it is that he's asking for.
He manages the pimps, so the pimps have to go to him. So he's a pimp manager.
The pimp manager. So there's project pimps, and then there's the project pimp manager.
We're still on my job title.
That's what we're trying to figure out. What exactly is your job title? I mean, project pimp is possibility. There's a possibility there's project pimp, or
I guess I've always just been just a manager. Like, it's just that one shift manager that's always at work, shirt half unbuttoned, but he employed a month once or twice. They can't fire him because he's decent, but he's still just a manager. They don't know what he manages, but they know that.
Just when somebody needs to call a manager, they know to call him. He doesn't actually have any management power or anything like that. They just know that when you need to call on a manager, he's the closest one with a manager title. Like, he's like on his name tag. It doesn't even, like, there's like on Chick-fil-A, there's like a chicken icon. Like, if you have the chicken icon, you're a manager. If you don't have if it's just your name, you're just an employee. But if it's the name and the chicken icon, that's a manager, and that's who you immediately reach out to if you need a manager. So I guess if there's no chicken icon, I guess we got to get you a chicken icon.
A chicken icon.
Yeah.
Like other areas have that same thing. Like, if you a Zataran symbol for Popeyes, I don't know.
You know what? I'm absolutely. Speaking of Popeyes, So my daughter, she's very, what's the word, open-minded or new age. She's very new age. So
can we just put woke on it? Just put woke on everything.
I don't want to call a 10-year-old woke, because
go back to sleep.
Everybody
go back to sleep.
They don't even have Saturday morning cartoons no more, so there's no reason to be that woke this early.
Right.
But so my daughter decided that she wanted to do meatless August. So I have not had, let me take that back, I'm lying. I've had a pork chop, but I've only had a pork chop since the beginning of August. That's also a lie. I've had 2 pork chops. So I've had 2 pork chops.
Was it a sandwich?
No, it was, they were going bad, and there were 4 in a pack. My girlfriend ate 2 of them, and I had to eat the other 2. I had to. It was a survival.
It's just gonna go bad.
Yeah, it was. I was doing it for the environment.
It's regular, like, adult dad things. So if you guys are dads out there,
and so I've been not eating meat the month of August, and this just happens to be when Popeyes decides they want to start making chicken sandwiches, which is something I didn't know they didn't do in the first place. I didn't know Popeyes didn't make chickens. I was too busy already ordering biscuits and wings and putting them together into a sandwich that I didn't realize they don't already offer one. And now that they want to offer one when I'm not eating meat, so now that's my
limited time too. August.
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make you.
Don't do that.
I'm doing it.
Because
I feel like
I was just gonna say that, like, my fast ends on September, so that's my goal to keep going, is that I'm going to finally eat a Popeyes chicken sandwich on September 1st.
Right.
But if you tell me that they're like nacho fries and they're probably going to be gone in 2 weeks, then I'm going as soon as we leave the studio.
So what was the basis behind her doing this no meat August situation?
So she just like, like how you said, woke. She, first off, she has two non-traditional parents. Neither me or her mom are what you call traditional in any sense, way, shape, form, or fashion.
Any kid was just raised in generation has traditional parents.
So, and then we live in Gwinnett County, where the majority of the population is Latina. So she doesn't really get the urban environment treatment where. So basically, she's got a lot of input coming at her on a daily basis, and I think like a lot of the students up there are African, and so they talk a lot about food. And even the cafeteria offers vegetarian options now. Offers. When I was, they have a choice.
I only went to school for free lunch.
That was my favorite time too. Like when you asked me my favorite class, lunch.
I got free lunch and breakfast.
Yeah.
Because my family was poor, I guess.
It's the only time you had. Well, for me personally, it's the only time I had sugary cereal.
Right.
Like otherwise, it was cornflakes and it was Rice Krispies. But if I wanted Fruit Loops, I had to make sure I got to school in time for breakfast.
You don't do that to your daughter too, right?
No.
You give her fruity cereals. Don't do that to your daughter.
But here's the thing. Like, I feel like I'm being a better parent because I go and buy fruity cereal and chocolatey cereal and stuff for her, stuff that I was denied, and then she goes to school and they're making crepes and fruit edible arrangements.
I
and
was talking about how they have like a busboy.
Yeah.
At the table.
There's a maitre d' and stuff in school now. Like, so here I am trying to upgrade my parenting because I grew up in a underprivileged environment, but so she decided, or not she decided, because of course I'm the parent, I make the ultimate decision. But she suggested that we do meatless August. So
Did she
I
catch
went
you
with
when
it.
you was sleeping? That's how I did my parents. That's how my son tries to do me, but I don't sleep, so can't get me.
No, it's so she's a daddy's girl and I'm a sucker. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah, like there's not too many things that she can't get me to participate in. Like I fear for when she's an adult and she comes home and she's like, Dad, I just joined this awesome cult, because I know I'm gonna want to say, baby, you can't be in a cult, but I'm probably gonna join with her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be in a blue jumpsuit with her. Like, yeah, so my daughter's the one that introduced me. Hey.
Is this the bunch right here?
Yeah. Does this need more cyanide, or because I brought some from home? How much cyanide do you put in your punch? Because I put in a lot.
Actually, right up on you guys. You do a really good job. Thank you.
Yeah. So she made the suggestion, and so I went out and I bought a bunch of stuff. That
Tofu?
I feel like I bought tofu.
Oh no.
You know
went
what?
to that weird aisle in Kroger, didn't you?
It's the natural food
I
aisle.
don't lie. I cringe. My son tried to go down that aisle because he was trying to cut to something else. I said, no, we don't do that. That's the bad part of town. It's not happening.
That's crazy.
No.
That one aisle is like, it's the only aisle that. So basically, if Publix was an aisle, that's the aisle Publix would be. Is the Kroger natural foods aisle.
Oh man, when I see no sugar on something, that just drives me crazy. Like as soon as I see no sugar, I'm like, what is this? I think I had a Gatorade the other day and it said no sugar. I was like, it tastes funny. That tastes like it's old. But you say no sugar. It's disrespectful.
That actually like goes in with the whole no meat thing, because so when I look at something, there's certain things I just don't believe should be no meat. Like if you're going to be a vegetarian or a vegan, don't stop trying to trick yourself with certain foods. Like it's not meat, so stop trying to like.
Right.
What did it say? Oh, it said so they
burgerless patty or some junk like that.
They actually have a really good one. The Beyond Meat burger is pretty good. It's not gonna trick you.
Is it the spices that do, like the seasoning that does it?
The texture. Because my biggest thing is texture. My biggest thing is if I'm in the mood for a burger, I need something that has the texture of a burger, and so it's actually pretty good. And then the Impossible Burger, the Impossible Whopper that they've got now, you can tell it's not a Whopper, but it's close enough that if you're either really high or really hungry, you're not gonna care.
Right. Like most fast food.
Like most fast food.
They can get my order wrong if I'm hungry. I don't know, whatever. I didn't order this, but it's full.
Yeah.
So you had those 2 pork chops.
Had the 2 pork chops, and so the rest
Is
of
your
the
confession tape? You need a lawyer present? I did take an online ICBC college course.
So Little Romeo got you to do that?
For lawyering, so I can help you out right now. So we're on camera.
I like we mentioned earlier on the ride up. I like how he is the spokesperson for a community college, and yet he
I think
went.
it's an online community college. That's even worse.
Yeah, it's an online community college, but yet he got his degree from an actual institution. Like, that's like sending your child to Harvard and then having them do commercials for DeVry.
Right.
And I just don't believe in any college that doesn't have sports teams. Like, unless you're gonna give me tickets to the DeVry versus ICDC game, I don't.
But what do you consider a sport? Because everything's a sport now. So if they have like an ultimate I don't know cup flipping situation, would you?
As long as they are actually competing on a collegiate.
That's what it is.
Strayer
University.
That's what we were trying to remember.
That's the one it was. Strayer University.
So Strayer versus Phoenix, ICDC versus DeVry.
Right.
And so if they have a competitive cup flipping, like as long as they compete on a collegiate level, I don't want to just come to one of the events and it's just rookie.
There's gonna be a fight song.
It needs everybody. They need to have their own themes.
Mascot.
Yeah, there needs to be like an eagle with 2 cups in his hands at all times.
That's
like
2 Chainz, right?
Whatever school has 2 Chainz as a mascot automatically wins. There's no way you lose at anything with 2 Chainz as your mascot. I don't care what the sport is. Like, it could be competitive toenail clipping, and if 2 Chainz is your mascot, you had better be the best clippers in the. You know what? Now you just made me wonder why the NBA's team is called the Clippers. I wonder if it's like.
Oh no, that's nasty.
Well, because
the Knicks were the
Knickerbockers, so maybe the Clippers used to be the toenail clippers.
What is that? The belt here or the belt on the shoe? Which one is that one?
The Clippers?
That's the pants, right?
The buckle?
What is that? What is a Knickerbocker? That's the
Knickerbocker is
the
hat,
sock?
I think.
It's a long sock? I think it's a long sock.
It's like a capri.
Oh yeah. Back in if you look back in like the old war times, those pictures, the dude with the flute had on the Knickerbockers. He was the one.
He was pulling all the ladies too.
He was the one with the flute. First off, he's the only one that came back alive. And they gave everybody else guns. They gave this dude a flute, and his only job was to let you know he was coming into battle with the flute. After that, he got to get the hell on. Somebody got to tell the tale.
He was the opening act.
Yeah, he was the opening act to the ass whooping or the defeat that was gonna. It was so either way. If you were
the mascot.
If you were going to get shot,
you can't kill the mascot.
You were going to hear a fire jam before you got shot, or if you were going to return home victorious, you had a soundtrack for victory.
Man, speaking of muskets, man, you could die from both ends. We can kill you and the person in front of you.
Really?
Yes, because they blow up. It's a horrible gun.
Horrible. That's how dedicated people are. Somebody invented something. They were like, so there's a 50% chance that it'll also injure you, but you'll get them. And somebody else was like, you know what? Let me get 2. I need 1 for each hand.
Right.
So you want to blow both hands up? Okay, that's fine.
So we got all the way off subject.
All the way. Well, I haven't even looked at the topic sheet yet. So now I get to save the first show's topic for the second, or not the.
Even better.
I get to save 15s for 16.
Right.
And go from there. Man. You're pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you were on my show.
Yeah. So I appreciate you returning the favor. By the way, Talkin Brick. I wish that like this was still like the old age of TV. Right. Like Talkin Brick on channel 64 Fridays at 8 p.m. Like yeah.
Or like your show comes on after my show.
Right.
It's like when remember when what's his name? Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert used to be in the same studio before their episodes, and they would talk to each other, and then his show would start seamlessly. Now they do that with his show.
But well, yeah, because
he was literally like right next to him. He did his whole show, turn, talk to Stephen Colbert, and get up and walk away.
And then it would be
Same
time
audience,
for
and the audience like, can you leave now?
No, because now it's time for the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, or what was his show called?
The After Jon Stewart show.
It was something else. It was something else with Stephen
After
Colbert.
Jon Stewart show.
I'm pretty sure that's not the name.
That's what I call it.
Yeah.
I don't like Trevor Noah.
What?
I'm a little biased, man. I like
Why?
Because he was in Half Baked.
I mean, yeah, but Trevor Noah's not a bad host of the Daily Show. Now, you know what? I do have a problem, and this is just me. So I don't know if it's racism isn't the correct word, because I'm not mad at him for being another race, because he's got African heritage in him, but he's English. Why is an Englishman reporting on American current events? It just
Yeah.
like, and I noticed that's something messed up with me. Like I'm a nationalist, I guess. Am I a black nationalist? Am I?
Do you like Black Power fist this way and not this way? Is that how you still Black Power fist, but it's the other way.
Not well.
But it's still the same thing. It's just not the same.
So
thing.
that okay, when you're shaking your black fist. So like if I see Trevor Noah and I'm like,
yeah,
that
but,
is
no, this is different.
yeah, that means unity and peace and,
This
and
one's
all that.
like,
But this
I
one
currently
is
don't like what you're saying, Trevor Noah.
you just gave me a movement.
Yeah.
So now
It's the reverse movement.
yeah. So if I wasn't a black nationalist or a black countryist before. Continentalist. There we go. A black continentalist. Because I don't have any problem with black Canadians. They can report on American news all they want. They're right there. But once you come from a 13-hour plane ride
Right.
over here, I immediately am like,
Does he like phone in all of his segments?
no,
He's never even here.
No, he lives in New York now. He lives in the United
Leonard
States.
never really lived in New York.
True.
What's the guy that got deported? The rapper.
ASAP. Oh, 21 Savage?
Oh, two fingers one.
No. That's Peace Hold Up.
Alright.
That's Peace Hold Up.
Peace 1 minute.
Yeah. 20, and that's crazy to find out that he was English.
Right.
Because he's been rapping like with an his Atlanta accent had other Atlanta rappers fooled, like which does not happen.
And when they found out, they was like, "Oh,
Right, genuinely.
you tried to play me." You know what it was? They training tricked that man. You thought it was this, and it wasn't. You gonna leave it at that?
I mean,
It's Peachtree after 11 o'clock. No more than that.
I
Stay
mean,
there with me. It's a trick.
how do you pass off being English to a bunch of Atlanta cats for that long?
You keep high.
He had to learn. Like,
I mean, you got a good accent, man. How you do that? Oh, I practice. Yeah, just smoke it. Keep smoking.
you're being a real folk nigga. Like he had to learn how to go from that
They had
to
a picture of him with some knickerbockers on.
see
Hilarious. Oh man, and a musket. He was holding a musket. He was holding a musket, and then he was on a horse.
Sir Savage the 21st.
That's correct. Best move ever. But they built him out. Somewhat. I don't know. But there's people out there who build out some stuff.
You didn't even. So what did we get on the topic of 21 Savage for? I forgot. We were talking about how I don't like Trevor Noah because, or not. I don't like him, but the only problem that I have with him is that he's an Englishman who
Right.
reports on United States current events.
So do you think accents are fake? Let's put it out there.
Because you can learn them.
Right.
You can adopt them.
Who's
Like-
the one that Black Panther dude, Chadwick.
Oh, Chadwick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this man can turn this thing on and off whenever he needs to. I just don't trust that. My son's mom, she used to just like bring it out randomly. You know, her island accent just randomly show up. So I've always sounded this way. I'm from California.
Uh-huh.
People meet me and they go, "Oh, you're not from here, are you?" I said, "No, I'm from the I make a bicep, from the bicep of America. Best state ever, California, give or take."
Y'all were the first to legalize weed, so I'm not going to argue with that
Yeah,
statement.
but you also still don't get your taxes back, so good luck with that. But yeah, so I've always been on the fence about accents. Now, wait a minute, you can turn this thing on and off whenever you want to. Like I know a girl who has a strong, like all her family has a heavy African accent.
Mm.
She has this, straight, I guess maybe an American accent, and then every once in a while it just comes out. So do you think Trevor Noah can turn his on and off whenever he wants to?
I often wonder about that with anybody who comes from overseas, because that's like Idris Elba, right?
Right.
The very first time I seen Idris Elba was as Stringer Bell on The Wire,
Mhm.
and he was the most convincing Baltimore dude ever.
Right.
Like I was absolutely sure he grew up in Baltimore, and then the next time I heard him in an interview, he's like, "Oh, crikey,
I'm not gonna lie,
crackers and bullocks," and I'm like, "Who? What?" I felt so betrayed. I really felt like Idris himself had came into my house and like drank all of my milk and then was just like, "You poser," and walked out.
Right.
Like I felt so disrespected.
In Hobbs and Shaw, there was moments where I was like, I don't understand what anybody just said. Not even The Rock, because he speaks in weird one-liners
Yeah.
forever. But
The Rock speaks in catchphrases.
Catchphrases, that's
There's
what it
there's
is.
absolutely like I bet you that you don't
Right.
get a complete sentence talking to him at all. I'm pretty sure everything
Right.
is a catchphrase.
And he used to be chubby too. Like Ice Cube when he was wrestling. He wasn't like that.
Oh, he was Chubby Diesel. He was Chubby Diesel.
just like Ice Cube. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they put him on Scorpion King.
By the way, if you're a young listener listening to this, we're talking about Dwayne Johnson.
yeah.
I forgot that y'all don't know him by his.
I think me and you was talking about that on Facebook.
Yeah.
I had to sit my son down, and I had to show him like he's like, no, he was in a Scorpion King. Yes, but he had another job before that. He didn't. It was more to him.
I feel like The Rock was his freedom name, and Dwayne Johnson was his slave name, and he went backwards. He gave up his freedom name for his slave name, because I would much rather be The Rock in any situation.
I like how his heritage comes out randomly. Oh, I'm Samoan. All of a sudden. Oh, I'm also black. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a quarter white. Better yet, I'm half alien. Trying to lie to you.
Don't forget he's also Hawaiian, because
That is what. Yep.
I mean, there's Samoans and there's Hawaiians, and
And
somehow
then-
he gets to bounce
And
back
then
and forth
he's
between
also
those.
half dolphin. I don't know where this came from. He said it.
I believe
Whatever he wants to do.
that's why him and Vin Diesel don't get along, because the like 1% of both of them that they're actually like the same race. But everything else is conflicting. Like
Right.
there's the Irish side of Vin Diesel that just doesn't get along with the Scottish side of The Rock, and there's the Ethiopian side of Vin
They both
Diesel
have some
that
Latino sprinkled in there. Salt Bay
has to.
style, right? Salt Bay
There's
style.
Asian something. There's
Asian in there.
like basically if you want to end racism, everybody has to look like The Rock, Vin Diesel, or Mila Kunis.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you want to end racism, everybody has to look like that. Otherwise,
So are you saying what were you? You're not a nationalist. What were you?
oh, I'm a black
Universalist?
continentalist. Continentalist.
All right. So the black continentalist here, Sonny G, wants to turn all races into this conglomerate.
The Rock. Just say The Rock. I want
The
to turn
Rock.
all races into The Rock.
Like that is a really good combination of things that you put together.
Because think about it. Before The Rock says, before he told us what he was, I remember I was watching wrestling, and
I was black.
at first when they brought him out, he
Yeah,
was in
hair.
grass skirts and everything, so it was like, oh, this is obviously a Hawaiian or Samoan or something. Then the next time they brought him out, he was with the Nation of Domination, which was like the Nation of Islam if they were wrestlers. And he was the most light-skinned one in the whole group. Like they had Mark Henry's dark, they had Ron Simmons. Everybody was like as dark as possible, and then they brought out The Rock, and it was like, I'm not sure you belong in that group, buddy. And after that, I mean, The Rock, he's always said that he was half black, but
Let me see his parents, man.
you always have to.
Let me see your parents.
You've always looked at him and went, I don't know, somebody.
I'm not trusting this. I mean, if you grew up with these two different separate races of people, but he was adopted, does that count?
Man.
What if it was one of those situations where a lot of people were in the same area at the same time?
That
at night.
That happens in hoods all of the time. It's always crazy to me when friends of mine or people I grew up with find out that like the person who they've been calling uncle for all these years is a dad, and the dude who would just come by and randomly drop your mama off $20. That's your dad.
That's child support.
Yeah, like.
Right.
So The Rock might have one. Maybe Soul Man Rocky Johnson isn't his dad.
I don't know. You want to fact check that for us?
I guarantee. And Soul Man still is buff, so I wouldn't. If Soul Man just decided that that's his child, then I'm just gonna go with, because I'm not about to wrestle Soul Man or The Rock. I'm not about to fight either one of them. If
I won't even fake wrestle him, because his fake wrestling was just too much.
Rock was one of a kind. Like you could hit him with the lightest punch and he would make it look like,
It was so painful.
oh yeah,
The
like
eyes.
you could just flick him like this.
God, man, wrestling. We went a couple of years ago to Monday Night Raw,
Uh-huh.
and my son, he teetered in it, but he skipped that generation. It just went right by him.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was a heavy wrestling dude for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to go see it, and it was like for 2 weeks we was like heavy in the wrestling right after we saw that, and it just fell off all of a sudden. We just lost the attention. Like, oh, okay, that's good.
That'll happen. You know what wrestling taught me? Wrestling taught me that I am just like my mom and my grandma. When I was a kid,
Right.
I didn't understand how they watched soap operas. Soap operas to me were the stupidest thing. I was like, this is fake drama and a whole lot of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of women in situations or guys in situations where, like, even as a kid, I understood in soap operas, if somebody died, that didn't mean they were permanently dead. Like, people came back in soap operas all the time. They faked
I'm the twin brother.
And this is supposed to be a romantic tale. This isn't science fiction. Nobody's in a spaceship or has a cloning machine or anything like that. It's General Hospital. How? First off, this is a hospital, which means all of y'all are doctors, which means nobody confirmed that this guy was actually dead. 2 seasons ago, y'all had a funeral for him. Nobody did an autopsy.
Hey, from comas.
Yeah. Oh.
I ain't gonna lie, man. 5 episodes. But you know what? Who has really good soap operas? Telemundo.
Oh no, Spanish soap operas are the best.
Oh,
I don't
man.
even understand what they're saying, but everything is so dramatic. It just
draws
draws.
on for no reason.
Oh no, that's Spanish television. Period. Have you ever turned on like a Spanish live action children's program? The women in a live action Spanish children's program are all wearing skimpy type stuff, talking about che. You're like, no, my child cannot learn the Spanish ABCs while watching.
I don't even know what the weather is. I'm just staring at the screen. I think it's gonna rain today. Walk outside, umbrella, tank top,
She's saying her talking about.
boot,
She's
flip
saying
flop.
muy caliente. You're like, yeah, baby, it's gonna be yeah. What she's muy caliente, yeah. But no, so I learned that I am just like my mom and grandma because I like wrestling for the soap opera, for the over-the-top dramatics. That is what pulls me in. Like,
Takes you away from reality.
because people are always like, how could you watch that? It's fake. You know it's fake. Yeah, you know it's fake when you go in the movie. You know good and well The Rock did not actually jump off of a skyscraper.
You know Iron Man real, right?
And yeah, you know,
Like,
Thanos did not really snap away half of the universe. That's
I'm over here writing letters to Marvel.
yeah.
Make my kid cry.
But you mad at me because I like to think that a guy who clotheslined another guy actually hurt him. You know, it's all it is a soap opera. I call it a sports opera. Wrestling is
that's what they call it.
Yeah, wrestling is a sports opera. All it is General Hospital and One Life to Live with people who like to act like they're hitting each other.
And you know, it's actually pretty good because they write everything right there on the spot. They give him a vague, it's Sonny G's gonna fight Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That's it.
That's it.
They don't know who's
And
gonna win until they decide to say.
Oh no, they know that's at the bottom of the page. Sonny G gets his ass whooped by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That is right there in fine print.
Because if you beat him, you know what that means. There has to be a revenge section,
Right.
and sometimes those go wrong.
However, what they do is they go, Sonny G gets his ass whooped for 10 minutes by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And so you have 10 minutes to figure out how this ass whooping is going to take place.
Can't make it look too bad.
Yeah, like is he going to do the majority of the hitting? Am I going to get in any offense?
Get a Winston Payne
Yeah, but after 10 minutes, Dwayne needs to have,
after falling from a 7-foot ladder
yeah.
onto a springboard of a situation.
Oh, the plywood. No, the plywood will spring you up immediately. The plywood and the padding.
Look, man, we used to wrestle on the bed, man. That was rough already. You catch the corner of the bed,
Carpeted floor.
man.
Carpeted
You catch the corner of the bed, man. You was gonna fly up and hit the corner. You done. That's it. You be hobbling. You gotta explain what's wrong with you. I was running up the stairs and I fell. Oh, okay. We'll see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in to Effa Podcast. I am the legendary Sonny G. Sonny with an O, not a U. I'm not a wild Pokemon trainer. And my guest host for this episode,
Your manager.
my manager / production pimp.
Yeah, production. Pimp Productions.
Pimp product, yeah.
That's a new business now. It's Pimp Productions.
But where can they find you?
So you can find me guys on Talkin Break. It's my pop culture podcast or YouTube channel that features Lego bricks as a vessel to communicate. But we do multiple different activities.
This is the legendary Sonny G, and thank you for tuning in to Effa Podcast. You can also go ahead and follow us at Trap Nerd ENT on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also go to our Patreon if you enjoy what we do and make a donation, patreon.com/TrapNerdENT, and be on the lookout for future events. Sign up for our email list at trapnerdent@gmail.com. Again, thank you for listening. Y'all be cool like how y'all be cool.